So hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of BYOB, where we have good conversations and see where things goes. I'm excited to kind of start this out with my team and with my boys, I would say, except one of our core members, Itcha, wherever you are, we do miss you. But whatever it is, I'm happy to have you guys here today. And here we go. So there's Adnan, we got Nabeel with me, we got Hussein over there on my right. Let's have a little bit of introduction. Let's have
you forgot to introduce yourself, bro.
I forgot to introduce myself. Oh, so guys, I'm Aditya Krishnan. So I'm kind of essentially running the show with my team, of course. I've always been wanting to start something cool at this. I've done something before in the past, but this time on, I want to do something fresh, something new, something cool out of the box. So here we got BYOB. If you're wondering what that means, as build your own brand. And we got my team, Adnan, today. Adnan, do you want to give a little bit of what you do for BYOB and a little bit about you as well?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Adnan, Adnan Anwar. And for BYOB, we are building our own brands, right? And we're essentially helping the younger people also to understand how we can really build brands. So in BYOB, I'm working in the capacity of operations as of now, and to just see the overall operations of how things are being run and how the edits are being carried out and whatnot. But in my day-to-day life, I work as a business development executive at a company called Karma. And that's pretty much it, I guess, in terms of my intro. Yeah.
So what were you, Nabeel, in a capsule format?
In a capsule format. I'm going to be the creative director for BYOB. Everything about the way the podcast looks, feels, and comes across. We'll probably have my toes dipped in it. And what I do, like on a personal basis, like on a daily basis, is I work as a creative director, coming up with creative ideas and commercials. And I work obviously at a wonderful agency known as Socialize. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
So a little introduction, me, Nabeel, Adnan, we work essentially in the same company, and I've seen my boy over there. We've been boys for like what, let's say
5 years?
13 years. Just to
okay.
exactly
Just cut the 5 years out, yeah.
But excellent, man. What were you saying? A little bit about you.
Okay, so my name's Hussein. I am 23. I would say I've just moved to Dubai. I'm kind of new, although I was born here. But I spent the last 3 years in the UK. I come from a banking background. So I feel like I'm in a different new part of my life, just readjusting to Dubai. And what I do for BYOB is I handle partnerships, marketing, etc. But I know what you're going to think right now. You're going to think every donkey has a podcast today, right? And I get that. I feel like there's too many podcasts out there. In every male friendship especially, I feel like at certain point, we always go like, you know what, we should start a podcast. Yeah. And everyone does that. So I want you guys to explain what are the 4 donkeys here going to do to make our podcast stand out? What is different with us?
I love that. I would love to kind of start off that. I think what you're trying to say is why we're here on a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of being at home sleeping or having lunch with the family. BYOB essentially, again, for lack of, again, I'm going to repeat it, is build your own brand. The idea of BYOB...
Not buy your own booze. Or not bring your own booze.
Yeah, not bring your own booze. Thank you for saying it again. Is build your own brand. And the reason we're doing it today is kind of bring more awareness about how personal branding is important for young professionals. By young professionals, I mean Gen Z and millennials from the age of, let's say, 20 to 30. And I think there's such untapped power out there that personal branding is so important and we need to tap into it. And there's a lot of doors open for it as a result of it. And that's why I wanted to start this awareness through a podcast format, but just having a chat with entrepreneurs, CEOs and founders, and different leaders in different industries, just to have an open-ended chat and see what their perspective is and what their experience has been like. Right? I think that's why we're essentially doing it. But Nabeel, why are you here on a Sunday afternoon, man?
Mostly because you told me I had to.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. For me, I think it was more about like having something that, we have complete ownership over in terms of not just the creative voice that we want to have, but also the kind of impact that we want to have with people who are I guess your age more than mine now. I'm 35. It's okay.
You're a dinosaur. Where are you going? Yeah.
But like I remember when I was 23 and I wanted to explore options in terms of work. What I didn't know at the time was having a brand of yourself as a person to sell to companies would help you just tenfold outperform any other candidate that was in there. And that's something I want to bring here and sort of talk about and bolster in the younger audience.
100%, man. Kind of like to add on to what he said. I met Adnan at the office balcony at our building, right? I met this guy. It was very unexpected, right? We had such a good conversation right off the bat, and I think that itself was great. I'm like, damn, I just met this guy, and even before him knowing me, he kind of understood what I'm about through my LinkedIn and through my so on and so forth, right? So I think that's so powerful, right? Where it's just not you promoting yourself, it's just not you getting jobs. It's you discovering yourself, discovering what identities you're about and what capabilities you're about, right?
Yeah, it's what sets you apart in today's job market, massively. Like when I saw your LinkedIn profile, I was like, wow, I have not realized I've been missing out hugely. And it sort of motivated me to improve my LinkedIn profile, which is still a work in progress, but it's getting there.
100%. And I think more than anything, as you said, I love the thing it's a creative outlet, right? I was telling you as well, right? I think the thing that separates us from another podcast, this is our creative outlet, is a creative baby, right? Whatever we can't do in our day jobs, consider this as your baby, and whatever you want to bring it on there, right? And I think that's something we need. And I remember the first side hustle we did inspire me. Actually, the first side hustle starts with the catering business, right? Do you want to give the audience and them a little bit of a perspective on that?
I mean, what happened is we had these events at uni time to time, and we being the business-minded kids we were, we wanted to open up a food stall and we wanted to call it Puzzles. I remember we had the branding and everything ready, but what kind of overwhelmed us was the whole government side of it, like licensing and the fees and everything. And us as kids, 18 years old, it felt a little overwhelming. And since then we've been on a journey of business ventures, trying to figure out what's best for us. And we're still figuring things out. We're still learning as we go. But I want to say though, what drew me to do this podcast is, like I said, this is the last time I'll mention UK, by the way, so apologies for that. Coming back from the UK and readjusting here, I wish I had a reference like this, seeing young professionals, how life in Dubai is for them, the struggles with finding a job or just job environment and everything, because it's so different. The Western world is so different from the Middle East, and Dubai is buzzing, it's growing, but I feel like it's missing that young professional reference that we could get, but we're not getting anywhere. I can't go on YouTube and find a podcast that I could relate to when it comes to things like this, getting a job or just venturing out into business in this country. So I feel like that's what we're here for.
100%, man. No, out of curiosity, man, I remember when we spoke before as well, you're talking about how you want to kind of build your LinkedIn profile, right? Man, I saw the other day, there was a post about this man. This is a true story, right? You know what, I'm not going to name him, but he created a post, something about him learning about the corporate world through, for lack of better words, through a scam call, you know? And I've seen other posts about people talking about their failed marriages or about their amazing marriages and what they've learned about sales.
B2B SaaS.
I would say that's the weird side of LinkedIn and all the personal branding platforms out there, right? Am I right? So what's the tackiest thing you have seen, and what do you think is too much on LinkedIn and Instagram, in your perspective?
I feel like LinkedIn, specifically LinkedIn, is like the go happy platform of, I have achieved this job. It's missing that real touch. So I grew up in an era where I used to watch content creators like Casey Neistat and Joe Rogan, right? So there's a bit of realism to YouTube and Instagram. I mean, even if you're just taking a picture of your food, at least that's real. On LinkedIn, I feel like it's a bit fake. And what you have done is you give insightful tips on day-to-day.
We have done, yeah.
On day-to-day operations, right? I have seen multiple posts on mental health and whatnot, but it shouldn't be. I think for a lack of better word, I would say LinkedIn needs a bit of trolling, a little bit of it, so that a little bit of twist, and that way I would believe that LinkedIn would come out as a better platform, because we are all young guys looking for jobs and business opportunities and whatnot, right?
I'm meeting people, you know. Yeah.
Meeting people, yes, specifically meeting people. I saw this one post of this 50-year-old guy, and he met 3 of the 3 of his business partners through LinkedIn. It's just that he was active on LinkedIn. So it has its pros and cons as well. But we watch the more con side for the fun of it because it makes for good laughs. So yeah, that's my perspective
How
on
much is
LinkedIn.
too much though on LinkedIn? I didn't want to take your take on this because these guys give me a lot of flack for posting a lot on LinkedIn. So I'm really curious, and I get that, but yeah.
I'll bring two perspectives to this. The first one is I feel like there's certain things LinkedIn's not meant for. I see people talking about their dating life and relationships, and like again, I'm not gonna name anyone, but it's people within our circle as well. I'm gonna ask you as someone who's got more experience on the platform, like, is that appropriate?
Dating and no, I feel like LinkedIn is not meant for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Snapchat. You know,
Exactly,
like, update your friends there.
It just doesn't fit.
If I'm like a random connection, I don't care if you got married. I would care if you had an insight that could improve my life.
Yeah.
That's about it.
100%.
I get the whole LinkedIn is formal, it's a corporate thing, but I think it's way too fake as well. Like if you get a job and you're writing on LinkedIn, oh, I joined Deloitte, in real life, I'm not gonna be like, oh, way to go, buddy, proud of you. Like, it's too formal. Like, we are best friends, right? But if you go under his comments, all of his friends are like, oh, proud of you, what a milestone. And like, come on, like it's way too formal, it's way too fake. And I feel like that's not how people interact with each other.
100%. Imagine you just type Control F and you just type the word grateful. They feel like you kind of like 15 posts, you know. But man, at random, right? You, Nabeel, you have been in the industry for how many years now?
Almost, let's say I started in 2011.
Damn. I'm kidding. Go on.
It's a Kevin Hart moment.
Yeah, Kevin Hart moment. I'm not going to take it as well as Don
picture
Cheadle did. Do you want me to turn to Don Cheadle and be like, what?
Now go on. Yeah, you've been for like 15 years.
I've been around the block for some time. And
so what was your whole career trajectory like, man? Like,
so I started in a boutique agency. Well, before even that, when I was in university, I had dreams of me being a filmmaker. Ooh. You know, didn't pan out sadly, but it is what it is.
Still got time.
Yeah, of course. A lot of time.
Yeah.
But like I sort of looked for the closest thing I could do, and then I sort of got into advertising. From there, I got this incredible opportunity to work at Diviso, where they had this groundbreaking idea to start like their own internal creative agency, which at the time was called Flaming Head. You know, Diviso, Flaming Head.
That's cool, man.
And it was probably like 2 of the most fun years of my life working there, until they got bought out, and I was offered the opportunity to learn a new skill in life, which was brand management. And that sort of opened my eyes to how people perceive you, not just as a brand, but even as a person, because the way you kind of build a brand is you don't sort of talk of it like, oh, this is Coca-Cola. You know, it's just a can. No, Coca-Cola is a brand. You talk about Coca-Cola as if you would a person. And that's sort of what I sort of realized in my time there. And yeah, and now I'm back working in a creative agency and sort of pursuing more what I want to do, you know, like be more creative, tell more stories rather than look at spreadsheets.
100%, man. So it was like a very interesting spread out career.
Yeah.
Huh? I think that'd be a cool segment to segue to say in segment.
Before we
as well.
do segue, I want to ask, are all of us brought up in Dubai, raised in Dubai?
I am, yes.
Yes,
I was born here.
me.
Okay.
The bar purebred kids, yeah.
So you would say you're familiar with the Dubai landscape. If I were to quiz you on Dubai, you think you'd do pretty well?
I'd be
Hopefully.
decent, I hope.
Dubai is such an ever-evolving place. That's something to keep in mind.
But it's a small city,
It's
though.
tiny, bro.
Okay, let's try the quiz then. But
Let's
Okay,
try, let's
okay.
try.
What I'm going to do is I'll present 4 unique entertainment services available right here in Dubai.
Okay.
3 of them are fantastic, real experiences you can enjoy. And one of them is a complete fabrication, but a potential idea for us, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to give you 4 services in Dubai and just pick one which you don't think does not exist in Dubai yet. Okay. So is it a gold vending machine? So a vending machine that literally gives out gold. Okay. Is it an air taxi?
Okay, let's take a step back. What do you mean by air taxi?
An Uber, but get there faster Right.
Okay.
So that's
okay.
an air taxi.
Okay.
And an indoor desert theme park where guests can enjoy gliding through the sand in a safe and controlled environment, or an underwater suite, like a hotel.
Which does not exist.
So four out of the four of these, one is not real.
The indoor desert theme park is not real.
So you're saying one is not real?
Yeah, three, as crazy as it sounds, those do exist in Dubai.
Yeah.
Gold bar. I think the gold vending
No,
machine.
the gold,
yeah.
the gold
The
vending
gold
machine,
bar is true. It's in
100%.
Jumeirah.
Does it exist or does not
Yeah,
exist?
It does exist.
Okay.
They sell gold bars and vending
Yeah,
machines?
Yeah, they do.
That's when you know you're in Dubai.
No,
We're in
it's
Dubai.
actually sick. It's
Yeah.
actually
So,
sick.
yeah.
The one I'm not sure of is between the air taxi and the desert theme park, where I sort of feel like the desert theme park is more realistic than the air taxi.
So the air taxi is true. And
Wait, there is a
there
flying
But
car
don't you think
taxi?
like
There is. In Dubai.
Where?
They have it.
they better have it? I'll tell you why. Because as kids, don't you think by 2024 we'd have flying cars? But
Yeah.
I feel like we're so behind in that.
True.
A
As
flying
aspect,
car's
you know.
dream is just like gone back
As a
now.
kid,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
gone.
they'd be flying cars,
Yeah.
but the only thing I have in 2025 is a headache.
But if any city was to do it,
Yeah, I
it
guess
would be
Dubai,
this place,
Dubai would
yeah.
probably be the one. Yeah.
What's the
fair.
right answer, though, Hussein?
So give me all the answers. So you think it's the flying taxi that's not real?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
don't think there's a car that hovers over and flies.
Bro, you never know, bro. You never know.
Okay. Doesn't have to be a car though. Taxi doesn't
there
necessarily
is-
have to be a car.
Oh, if
Yeah.
you're
If there is
trying to trick me with the helicopter, in that case, it is
No.
in
What's the answer, though?
fact true. They do have an air taxi with the helicopter.
Okay.
What they don't have would be the desert.
Yeah,
theme park.
indoor desert.
What about you?
Yeah.
Desert?
I'm
Yeah,
confirm
indoor
on that.
desert
Yeah.
theme park,
I would say desert, but I love the fact that he put desert in there because that's the most obvious one. But I would say desert, yeah.
Surprises.
Well, a gold vending machine does exist.
Okay.
It's in the Emirates Palace Hotel in Abu Dhabi, and it has real-time gold prices, 24/7 convenience, and
Lovely.
symbol of luxury. That's what Dubai is all about.
Well, but technically, UAE.
Yeah, UAE.
Yeah.
Apologies, Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi. This is the flying taxi, though. It is a real thing. It's from RTA. It's an initiative in order to avoid traffic congestion and reduce travel times. But it is kind of misleading. It's not a taxi. It's not a car, is it? But it's not a helicopter either.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid. Yeah.
Something in
Oh, yeah,
between.
that's-
So that does
kinda
exist as
cool.
well. And this is the underwater suite in Atlantis, the Palm. It's called the Poseidon Underwater Suite, and it is, guess the price. You know what? Closest to guess the price will be the main host for the next episode.
There we go.
Well, in that case, 12,000.
Per
I
night?
don't want to be the host, so I'm going 12,000
Dirhams.
dollars. Let's go dollars.
What?
No, give me dirhams. AED.
Okay, realistically, probably like 6,000 dirhams a night.
6,000 a night. Okay.
6,000 USD. I heard it somewhere. I don't remember.
What is that?
quite.
Like 30,000 dirhams?
Something like that. Yeah.
680.
6,000 dirhams?
6K, yeah.
Well, you guys are way off.
Thank you.
40,000 for
Wow.
one night.
40,000 dirhams
But
per night.
underwater is
40,000
like
for
I
a night.
get it, you know?
Bro,
Yeah.
like still
So I heard it was
40,000 a
6K
night.
USD. I think
40K for one night.
it comes
Bro,
That
that
across.
can
is
save
too much.
that can save a kid's education, man. You know,
Yeah,
like, they can go to college for that.
That or stingrays, bro, in
You know
front
what?
of your bed. Like,
Yeah,
fair
no,
point,
I
you know what?
no,
Stingrays
no,
it is,
no.
Stingrays it
40K,
is.
that takes luxury to a whole new level,
I know,
dude. Like,
I know,
can't.
but not bad. Though. I'm impressed, but I did expect you guys to get it right. But I'll take it up a notch. So the next one is dining in the sky with your friends or family, literally 50 feet above sea level.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh,
So
boy,
so
okay.
these are all AI generated images.
Uh-huh.
Is it that, or is it a gold-plated hotel room? Again, sticking with the theme of hotels. Or is it a spaceship-themed hotel room where guests can stay in spaceship-based pods? Or is it an apartment where you can have your car inside the apartment? So this is for like motorheads and car enthusiasts. Which of these four is not a real service available in Dubai?
Second last one.
So that's the spaceship-themed hotel.
Yeah.
What about you, Nabeel?
I think it's the second one.
Which was the gold-plated hotel room?
Yeah, I feel like it's like entirely gold plated, or it has
No,
parts.
just elements of it.
Oh, okay. Then that's very realistic. That's very
It's
on
literally
brand.
there.
It's on
Burj
brand
Al
with
Arab,
the... with
Yeah,
It's
the-
in Burj Al
there-
Arab,
yeah,
yeah.
but like it's not completely like the entire room. That's why I was like the second one. But like if it's
Okay.
partially, Oh my God. I know the first one exists.
Bro, chill out. We're not gonna get a job out of this.
I know, it's not that I'm so
This guy is so
competitive. Okay,
stressed
I'm
out.
extremely competitive by
He
nature.
just wants to be the main
I just wanna
host.
win.
There you go. Oh my God, just
It's
say
so
it.
hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. While I think, why don't you answer?
You know, Aditya, come on.
Do you mind going to the next picture?
Yeah. So I'll show you all four of them. So that's
Okay.
the dine in the sky, 50 feet above air, above sea level. That's the gold-plated hotel room, and that's the spaceship-themed hotel room, and that's the apartment where you can have your car in the apartment. Which
is
I don't see why you should do that, but I'm not a big car guy, so
I know for a fact the car thing will be there because, man, think about anything ridiculous you think of, Dubai has it, right? Come let's just face that. But
if you're gonna say that, then all four
all
should
four
be
of them.
there.
All four of them will be
I
there.
can tell you,
True,
10
yeah.
years, all four of them will be here.
One of them is not there.
I think would be the spaceship theme one. 'Cause
Spaceship
that's the only
theme?
one I can see.
Yeah.
Is that what Nabeel, you were yet to answer?
Oh, it's the most logical answer. The spaceship theme.
Okay.
And because I don't want to lose, I'm going to answer that because I know the first
So remind me to
and the
never play
last
Monopoly
one
with you,
are
bro.
100% true. So the first and last are 100% true.
Okay.
I know for a fact. The second, because you told me it's partially gold plated, I know for a fact that is the case in Burj Al Arab, which by process of elimination just leaves number 3.
Finally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, his answer was spaceship, and your answer was like a whole paragraph. But both of you are right. It is the spaceship one isn't there yet. This is the dine in the sky, so it elevates guests and their meals about 50 meters from the ground. The platform is temporarily closed because on October 24, a woman unfortunately fell from the platform during a dinner service. There's been no official statement from the company, but they are,
Hope she
as
made
of
it.
now,
Let's,
we don't know yet, but I hope she did make it. But that is a real thing, or was a real thing.
Yeah.
And yes, the room with the iconic gold-plated interiors, it includes gold-plated columns, ceilings, and furniture. It's not everything, not a golden toilet yet.
Yeah.
And
Trump Tower incoming.
incoming. And the Porsche design tower features automated car elevators that allows residents to drive their vehicles directly into the apartment. This concept is aimed at car enthusiasts who wish to keep their vehicle close at hand, showcasing them as part of their home decor. Would you do that? Like, if you had an insane amount of money, would you want your car in your house?
I mean,
Like, I don't see it.
Depends.
I,
Depends.
Depends on the
depends
car.
on what car.
Depends on the car.
Depends
do you know what I
right?
realized the other day? I went to Global Village. I saw this lady pushing on a Prada stroller. And I
Oh
thought
my
to
God.
myself, why would we need
A Prada
a
stroller.
Prada branded stroller? You know what? I have a segue in mind. I do want to talk about this. If you
Okay.
don't mind. It's the thing about, I love how you took so much time to answer one question. And I started thinking, if we were to be in an interview, or like, I want to know, I'm so curious in how you guys doing, like, handle interviews or kind of tackle interviews, right? Because for me, for interviews, my whole process was, we spoke about it, right? Is to go for as many interviews as you can. So you kind of understand what the pattern is, you kind of understand how it goes, and kind of understand what the psyche is. To a point now where I love going interviews, which is kind of psychotic, but I do go for interviews even though I don't want the job, which is kind of weird. Any recruiter out there, please don't take that into consideration. But that's my little thing I do, is my hack where I kind of gain more confidence when it comes to interviews. But what about you guys, man? With your 15 years experience, I hope you have a more solid fact than me.
So I've been to a fair few interviews, and what I will tell you is the more interviews you go to, it's exactly what you said. The more confidence you'll have, the easier time you'll have understanding and reading the body language of the recruiter or the hiring manager at the time.
Yeah.
And it'll help you answer the questions they want in the way they want to hear them, right? Like when you bomb an interview, you know you've done terrible. And when you've aced an interview, you walk out of there leaving, with your head held high, and you feel like your chest is like bigger than Stallone's, and you feel so good.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you.
Yeah,
The
makes
more
sense.
interviews you do, the more practice you get, the more like on point you'll be. And the biggest tip I would give to anyone who's going to an interview is to just not think too much. The more you go inside your head, the more you'll tank it.
Personally, I've not been to a lot of interviews because I graduated, and the same week I got the job.
Lucky.
So lucky, very lucky. But I want to ask, what is the best way to prepare for one? Is it to actually research the company and have premeditated answers, or is it just be yourself and wing it? What would you recommend?
Both. 100% both. Like, imagine you're a hiring manager, someone walks in to do an interview and they know nothing about your company.
Okay.
But they have the best personality in the world, okay? I'm going to give you 3 options to choose from, right? And then the second person walks in, knows everything about your company, has the most awkward, boring personality you've ever met, okay? And then the third person walks in with a decent personality, but knows everything about your company as well. Who are you most likely to pick?
First or third, I would say.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though the first knows nothing about your company. So being yourself is like numero uno, but if you had to absolutely choose between number 1 and number 2, you'd probably pick number 2 just because at least he made an effort, or she made an effort to know about the company, have an understanding, and then base their answers on what would benefit the company and them within the structure.
Yeah.
100%. I think kind of like to add on to your point, I think collectively, I mean, with our collective experience, I think the main idea is to kind of research a lot about the company. I kind of see interviews like a personality contest where essentially the best personality stands out. And I think let's face it, right? The more memorable you are, the more people remember you, right? That's basically human behavior. Let's go into human behavior, right? So be memorable in a sense that use what you have done and put it out there in a very bold way, so that's the thing that sticks in the head. I think third is, of course, sharpen your skill sets. And I think that's the most basic thing. But in today's competitive job market, you need to look for an edge. And I think that's where you go above and beyond. That is, research a lot about the company, or create stuff before you even go for the interview and stuff like that. But with that being said, what is your funniest job interview experience? I really want to know yours, man. Like, what is the most stupidest or funniest job, like, which was a big learning curve for you?
Well, I'll tell you. So I worked in Lloyd's Bank in the UK for 2 years, and for that interview, it was not going well. I thought I was applying for a different position, and they were interviewing me for another position in a whole different department of the company. So that was not going well at all. And then towards the end of the interview, I could see she was very unimpressed with me, but she went like, I think it was part of their protocol. She went like, if you could go anywhere right now, where would you go? And there's no context. Is it for vacation or is it for family? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And for some reason, I said Mount Everest. And I said, I'm a very daring person. I love hiking. I love climbing, adventure. And she was very impressed with that. And then I could see the shift in her whole persona. Like, she was very like intrigued, and she asked me so many follow-up questions. And in the end, she went like, oh, we have a program where we send people to Everest. And I was like,
what?
Yeah. I was just waffling at that point.
They're missing out in their lives, dude.
Yeah.
No, but
what are our job perks, bro? Coffee in the pantry, yeah.
Not bad. But I didn't want to go to Everest. I was just yapping at that point. But I would say that was the funniest. But I do give myself credit because I did turn it around like on the spot. So
respect, man.
With lies.
Big man.
With lies, yeah. Absolute lies.
You know what happened to me once? My first interview I went. So this thing called Music Maj. There's a company out there, and I sent out application. So I bought a drum kit from them, right? Because I play the drums. Subtle flex. I got the drum, and apparently back then there was a thing where the founder sends a mail back saying that, hey, thank you for purchasing my equipment. I'm like, amazing. Me being the desperate kid, I'm the age of 18 or 19, I responded back to the mail, said, hey man, I'm in the market, I'm looking for any kind of experience of marketing or any internship. Let me know, how can I get on it, right? And I think that's something our viewers can learn, that is kind of go out of your way and kind of make things happen for yourself. People who believe opportunity is going to land in the lap, well, they'll have nothing in the lap. Let's just say that. I think, go out there and make it happen. But for me, I went for the interview. He called me and said, amazing, I love your initiative. Come through, let's have a chat. Went for the interview. I came all dressed up. I'm so confident. My mom dropped me. I went in for the interview, and he's like, okay, tell me what's digital marketing. Tell me what's this. Tell me what's content buckets. For all these answers, I said things which I don't know, but I just fluffed. It was fluff, I remember in school, people used to call me the bullshit expert. I mean, I managed to get you guys here for but so much fluff. And at the end, he goes like, man, cut the BS, he's like, don't BS. He's like, learn something properly and then talk about it like with full confidence. I think that's so much more valuable than you telling me things that you're not so aware of. And at that time, me, kid, I was hurt. I'm like, what is he saying? Like, how can he, like, I'm a junior. How can he say that to me? I went back home. I took his challenge. I'm like, really? Is this how it is? I went and did a course in digital marketing right away, which I kind of did in halfway. But I still do it. I still did it though. I did courses. I did everything right. And 2 weeks advance, I sent him a message on LinkedIn saying, hey, man, this is what I've done. I've done this amount of courses. Now that if you ask me a question, I can answer it. I sent to him. But I realized I was sending the message to multiple people and I put a different man's name and I sent to him. You get what I'm trying to say? I put a different man's name, I sent to him. Then I'm, you know what, man? You know what? I think we both are not meant to work together ever in the next 20 years. That's why I'm like, forget it. That was my first experience with LinkedIn. And then after I realized you just got to go head first and experience things. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of opportunities out there. I think abundance, right? There's so many things out there for everyone, right? But what's something for you, man? Something that you never thought it came, like an opportunity that came out of nowhere and it changed your life? Or
so in terms of
apart from BYOB,
yeah, in terms of opportunity, right, I would say that I have a mind that works in multiple different domains. Some say it's a pro, some say it's a con. So
you have ADHD.
Yeah, I have dabbled into crypto a lot and it has helped me make a lot of money. And in terms of the job market as well, right? So in terms of attending interviews, I do attend interviews. But what I would say about interviews is, right, like we all have different skill sets. So I want to give some insights into technical interviews and let's just say a position for creative direction, a position. So one thing that I have made a decision in my mind is to have a minimum standard for myself.
Okay.
The way I conduct myself, it has to be at the minimum standard. Like, this is me. Take it or leave it.
Mm.
So that helps you in a way that you can cut the interview short as well. Maybe we are not meant to work together. Maybe we are meant to work together. So I have worked in the technical line within IT support and have given many, many interviews. But one key thing that I have taken away is people who are willing to work with me. They're like, we know you're young. You may not have the right skill sets. You do have the knowledge of IT, but we are willing to train you just because you're a coachable person. To have a persona of being coachable at a young age is important. That's something. And obviously then when I transitioned to sales, so sales was also about perception, right? Perception is key. The way you dress, the way you conduct yourself, the way you talk, these things have to be improvised on. So the important point, the important takeaway is, if you're a tech person, say you're into coding, you want to end up at FANG. So one key thing is you will have all the coding skills, lead code, you will have your GitHub repository is amazing. All of that is good for you. But to work on yourself is also very important. You're inputting all that data in your head, all of the code, all of the knowledge. But if you haven't worked on yourself, the interviewer may not be impressed.
Makes sense.
And you will lose on a $200K USD job.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say is have the tech background, and this is for all my tech bros out there. Have the tech background, but also work on yourself, build your body, build your physique, hang out with people, be social, hang out with people. One thing I realized within IT, that's why I jumped to sales as well, is I was sitting in my shell.
Mm-hmm.
And life is all about, facing your fears. Aditya, I want to know from you, because this is important. When you did that mistake, I have done that mistake in sales as well, where I choose a template and I send to 10 people and I'm like, shit. Mm-hmm. How did you recoup yourself from that to start posting LinkedIn content ham on?
I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That conversation is done. There's no amount of money I can pay for him to get to chat to me again. So that's done. So I think a lot of things, you need to know how to cut your losses and move on. Because again, man, this is a game where you need to be resilient. You need to have thick skin. You need to go the mile. Like if you're expecting, I had this thing where I was all about exponential growth. I'm like, I want to look for something that gets me returns like this. Then I realized you can't get everywhere, right? I realized today, in my age, I realized that you need to give to get. You know, to literally put an effort to get. But I want to ask you, Nabeel, like, there's something for you, man. You've been in the industry sometime again.
Are you calling me old in so many words?
No, but you might have come a lot of young talent, I'm talking like 20s or young grads, right? I'm under the perception that age is very subjective, right? Regardless you're old or young. I think this is why we're doing BYOB as well, to let people know, regardless of your age, 20, 30, 40, whatever you are, you can still leverage that to your advantage. Use your time and energy to advantage. So what is someone you met in your life that is like, damn, this guy is like, he's young, he's this young, or can be vice versa as well. Like an experience has something like that ever come to you guys?
Someone who like despite being very young, like impressed me, or someone
Yeah, like it's like damn, like
who despite being sorry for the voice crack, who despite being very old didn't impress.
Essentially,
me.
yeah.
So many.
So many, yeah.
So many. In terms of young, I would say we had an intern very recently. In terms of her mind, I believe you worked with her as well. Like, she wanted to work in strategy, but I kept telling her, like, I don't see you doing that. You need to work in creative. You just have the mind for it. And in terms of people who are old, I'd rather not say.
Makes sense.
I'd rather not.
Makes sense. What were you, man? Like being the youngest in the workforce, like if you had to kind of encapsulate that, how has it been for you?
I mean, it's fine. I don't think age is the detriment here. It's just experience. And I have 19-year-old friends who are more mature than me. So I don't think age is the key factor there. So yeah, it's just experience. Experience is the best teacher. And it's more or less, it's different people's experience, what they've been through, the kind of jobs they've done. For example, my roommate in Edinburgh back in the UK, the way their families work in the Western world is once you're 16, 18, you got to start paying rent for the family. Like you can't just stay at home. I can be 28, 29 and my parents will still keep me at home happily. But that's not how it works there.
But that's cultural.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. But what I mean to say is like he's been working as you know what a paper boy is? Paper boy is it's like you see in movies, like you ride a bicycle and you throw newspapers and what you get paid like £5 an hour. That's like 20, 25 dirhams per hour. And UK, that's nothing. You can't buy a bar of Snickers. You can buy bar of Snickers, but you can't, you get the point, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he was 16 or something. When I was 16, I was playing FIFA at home. That was my biggest concern. So I don't think age, I would never judge someone because they're old or young, even if you're doing the same job.
100%.
It's different people got different experiences.
And I think a key thing I want to say is I'm in the perception that you don't need 10 years experience. You don't need 2-3 years experience. In my perspective, I would say, for me, I think 1 year working and then exploring different things is good, right? Some people it might be controversial, right? 1 year and then kind of look for something better, or like 2 years, let's say. But I'm not in the school of thought that you need 3 years experience to kind of jump companies or do different things. Like I think time is limited. Energy and time is finite.
Yeah.
You don't need to use all of energy and then kind of move on, right? It's a bit of a controversial thing, but I think that's, I want to kind of end the episode on that note.
I do have a question though. So would you rather accept a job that has high pay, like exponentially high pay, but it's a lot of work stress, like work-life balance out of the window, like you're always stressed out, it's taxing on your health, on your life, but it's extremely well paid, like money, never a problem. Your family's set, your kids are set, everything, their kids are set. Or would you have a medium level income? It's okay, you can drive a Civic or anything, but you got a good life. Like after 5 p.m. you shut off of work, and there's a good work-life balance. Which one would you guys choose?
Depends, right? So like every human being's different. I know. Okay, so every human being's different, right? So like it depends on what stage of life you're in, depends what your priorities are.
Okay.
If you want to start a family, do I need more money? Is this money enough?
Okay.
Right? Like, yeah, you would think because you're about to start a family, you would want work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
But think about how expensive it is to get married in this country. Think about how expensive it is to raise kids in this country. At the end of the day, you will somehow or the other end up picking the high-paying job with extreme work stress and no work-life balance and be unhappy, or versus having work-life balance but then not being able to do everything you want to do.
What do you think?
I think otherwise. I think for me, like family has been very important, and I'm actually living that where it's not a matter of high-paying job, but I do get time to spend with my family. One thing, Aditya, which you have added is there's a little bit of nuance which I would like to add to that. So there are people with ambitions of like becoming doctors and whatnot, right? And for that you need like tens of years of experience. But what we as this podcast, we're targeting at a specific mindset.
100%.
A specific idea. The idea is that you have to stay at a job for 3 years to make that jump or get that high paying salary. even doctors, like we should probably at one point get Ali Abdal, that guy. He's a doctor from Oxford or Harvard or some big league, right? And he has made a YouTube channel. And he has done very well for himself, right? So it's just that what we are particularly targeting on is the fact that people should not limit themselves in a box. Limiting yourself in a box is a curse. So once we enable more people from our podcast to
100%,
explore more parts of themselves,
Yeah.
because as doctors, you could be a YouTuber as well, like Ali Abdal. We need to, because people right now in Dubai are very stressed out. A lot of people are stressed out. Oh, my job.
It's culture there in Dubai, right?
Yeah, the culture of stress, right? So what I would suggest is explore parts of yourself so that you can get out of that stress.
100%.
Even if it's 1 hour a day.
I think it makes sense, right? I think that's why BYOB is there as well. To kind of help people out there.
Yeah.
Go to your segment now, yeah.
Yeah, but before that, what do you guys think about like imagine you got a few different options on the table, job offers, or even if it's business, what do you guys think about gut feeling? And does it play a part in business or?
Okay.
I'll go last.
You'll go last. What do you guys think?
Sorry, what's your question?
My question
Guy
is.
with his ADHD.
My question is.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We're here with you. My question is, what do you guys think about gut feeling and the part it plays in whether it's choosing the right industry for you or venturing out into business? Do you guys think gut feeling, like what your heart says and all that, like matters? Or
Do you mind if I take that question? Then we kind of segue to the end of the chat. Yeah.
Sure.
So I think I'll answer that question. I think about a gut feeling. I think it's really important. I think everyone out there should learn as well. It's just not you think from your logic. It's a lot about you think from your heart as well.
okay.
So I do feel like it needs to come in a synchrony that your heart and mind says the right thing. To put it in perspective is to know if it feels right and to know if it makes sense in your head, and then make a decision, but not just thinking in your head or just jumping with your heart.
Okay.
I think that's the takeaway I would say for anybody, and that's the easy way to approach this. Let's not complicate this, right? Let's keep it simple, right? Listen to your heart, listen to your gut, listen to your brain. Logic, what that means, logic and intuition, and combine both. There you go, a perfect decision.
Okay.
In a perfect world, right? And I think that's the whole point of BYOB as well. They kind of show people this is what the concept is. They kind of build that, come together, have a chat, talk to the right people, the right professionals, the right leaders, and learn a lot more about it as well.
Okay.
And I think another thing I was just talking to Adnan about yesterday. We plan to kind of add in job opportunities at the end of our episode and kind of compile it and put it on a weekly basis out there as well. Because the community we want to build is a young professionals community that is the age of 20 to 30, right? We really want to focus on that age group. So we want to enable them with the right jobs, the right people to connect with. And we want to have the right-minded people on the podcast as well, or I would like to call it the round table, right? And that's the concept of BYOB. We do have Saucecast and Think Tank, which you'll be seeing it very soon and how it kind of transpires. But that's the reason why we're here today, guys. And I think it's been a brilliant little discussion of ours with your segments, Hussein and Nabeel's long experience and Adnan's insights on tech world and whatnot. I think it's been really interesting. And
I want to say though, Google, if you're watching, please add an unsend button in emails. Look at this guy's experience. Look at his experience. Like there needs to be an unsend button when you send emails, because
That's actually smart.
The unsend button is there. It's just for 10 seconds though.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with
Like
that,
it literally goes 10
There's-
14,
there's
10
the-
seconds.
There's
Yeah.
an undo.
Yeah. It's on Gmail. It's not on Outlook though. It's not on Outlook.
It's on Gmail. Unless you refresh. The moment you refresh, it goes away.
but 10 seconds is not enough to see if you've made a
I
mistake.
mean, 10 seconds is enough for you to know whether you're going to regret sending this email or not.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
100%. And I think that's something we have not really thought a lot about it. I think, yeah, that'd be cool. But nonetheless, guys, we'll catch you for the next episode where we have Think Tank with me and Hussein hosting it. We invited about 3 to 2 tech entrepreneurs, and I'm excited for that, man. Let's see how it goes. I guess tune in and stay in touch with us for any job opportunities and any people we're going to be sharing in the description, and we'll take it from there. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Peace, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.